So Mike Adams says that he doesn't make any money from One World Way, and like I went on his website to check, and he's got One World Way there. He's making money promoting One World Way and selling One World Way. How can you say you're not making money? You're making money because you're promoting the product, and that's how you make money. And that's fair enough, but don't say you're not making any money by promoting One World Way. That's just crazy. But on the other hand, he's asked for a total product recall from Sun Warrior and Garden of Life, and because of the brown rice protein content. That's where the heavy metals are. And I had a look at this Garden of Life. By the way, I know he's making this claim that I'm not making any money from Garden of Life. I'm in no way associated with them. I don't even know who they are. I hardly even know the product. I mean, the product's got beans, I think, or chickpeas, sprouted chickpeas and enzymes and things like that. It's got about 20 different ingredients, but miraculously, Mike Adams knows that the brown rice protein is what's causing what he calls high heavy metals. So, how does he do that? Wouldn't you need to isolate that ingredient in order to test? I mean, that's what I would call scientific. How could you just get a product that's got 20 different ingredients and say, oh, it's that ingredient. That's why it's got high heavy metals. Absolute crazy. I sent a email to Mike Adams when that article first came up, and I asked him a question, because the most disturbing thing I found was, if you're a subscriber or if you're a listener and you're listening to Mike Adams, he probably thinks his listeners have got amnesia, or they forget stuff, or they get hit with a rock. Unfortunately, I haven't been hit with a rock. I do remember a couple of years ago, you put out, Mike Adams, an award called Editor's Choice for Best New Protein. And still to this day, in fact, I went to a health food store just in my local area, and I had Sun Warrior protein, and ironically, I lifted up the half kilo and the 1 kilo, and I looked at the ingredient list on the back, and there's 2 different ingredient lists. So, I mean, that's another question. I'll do a YouTube clip later. What are the ingredients of Sun Warrior? That's what we want to know. Scary stuff. But on the front of it, it's got practically his face. It's practically got Mike Adams' face, where it says, naturalnews.com, editor's best choice, best new protein. So he thinks it's the best protein. Now he's saying you need a product recall. Well, that's fine. You want a product recall, something you heavily promoted and got people to probably consume because of your advice. Now you're saying, oh, don't consume it. It's like, which way do I turn? Do I cut myself in half and follow you? But it's impossible to follow what you're saying. And instead of apologising, everyone makes mistakes. No one's perfect. Instead of apologising, say, hey, I put this award out before. I take that award back. I'm sorry for misleading. It doesn't say anything like that. And so that was my question in the email. I said, so you put out this award, you're asking for a total product recall. How do you recall your best protein award? You practically got your face on every packet of Sun Warrior that goes out there. How do you recall that? Good question. He must have thought it was a good question too, because about 7 days later, he should have answered it. Maybe he spoke to his attorneys. I know he's got a lot of lawsuits happening over there, scary stuff. He's probably talking to his legal team, but because I'm probably not the only one asking that, I'm sure there's a whole lot of other people out there that haven't been hit with a rock. And so I asked him this question. A week later, he gets back to me and says, we take this very seriously, and we're going to look into it. We're going to get back to you. And I thought, mate, if it was really serious, he'd get back. 2 weeks later, he didn't get back to me. I sent him another email. I said, I thought this was really serious to you. It was really concerning, and you're going to look into it, and you're going to get back to me. He got back to me again, a few days later, and said, oh, this is really serious, and these allegations, we're going to look into it, we're going to get back to you. A few weeks later, he still didn't get back to me. Obviously, he's not going to get back to me. I said, if you don't get back to me, I'm going to do a YouTube clip telling the world you didn't get back to me. And not because I want to tell the world, not because I want to show you. I don't know, some people get really big, they become a corporation, they're crazy, they just think they can do whatever they want. They just say whatever they want, do whatever they want, and no one's going to identify it. Everyone's going to go, oh, Mike Adams, he's got a lab, $1 million house, $1 million kitchen, lab. Where's your $1 million lab? Show your $1 million lab. Put it on YouTube. Show what does it look like? You're just testing stuff in this $1 million kitchen that you bought from all these health products that you've been selling. We're going to talk about which ones, because I couldn't believe what I found on your own web store. Yeah, just come out with it, And so, the Bible says, if you've got a problem with your brother, come and approach. I've approached you 3 times. You didn't want to get back to me. But the funny thing is, every time you interview people, every time, like you're saying, oh, this doctor didn't want to get back to me, or this group or that organisation, they're evil, they're conniving. I asked them to comment on different things, and they wouldn't comment. Oh, how bad? You're doing exactly the same thing. You've become just like them. Well, I don't know, maybe you were like them in the beginning. I don't know. Come here. I got interviewed on Fair Dinkum Radio, a popular alternative truth speaking radio station here in Australia with Leon Pittard, and he many times called for you to, and if you're honest, you'll come on out, you'll come and talk to us. In fact, if you're really honest, you'll call us to come on your show over there and interview. But if you're smart, you'll hope this just goes away and none of your listeners, none of your subscribers hear any of this public relations spin of yours that you want to put other people. This is one thing I've noticed. When I was reading through a lot of these clips and articles, it's like the Orwell 1984 New World Order duality. It's like there's two sides. I'll say this, and then I'll say the very opposite. And if anyone tries to contradict any side, well, you couldn't contradict any side because you said both sides, that's public relations spin. I mean, who's the spinner? Who's the public relations spinner? This is absolutely incredible. I'll give you an example. When the articles came out, different people, he was saying heavy metals are not naturally occurring, and some people were saying, hey, heavy metals are naturally occurring. Heavy metals are naturally occurring. They're on the periodic table. They're not synthetic. They are found in the ground. Some are naturally occurring, some are industrial. And he said, first he said, America is really clean. Brown rice over here in America is clean because our soil's clean, and I tested it. And elsewhere, it's really full of heavy metals or different, Well, of course, it's going to be full of different things because it's grown in different places. But then he says, America's not clean because all these heavy metals are coming from all around the world, coming from China, they're floating over, and he had these fancy pictures where he got someone to draw it, where he showed the heavy metals landing on America, and that the forest fires in America are caused because of mercury from different parts of the world, like China, and that comes onto America, and so now America is not clean. Now America is full of heavy metals. Can you have it both ways? It's either clean or not clean. It's either got heavy metals over there or it's not. But if anyone tries to argue or tries to prove me wrong, that's public relations spin. Yeah, right. Are you infallible? Are you like the Pope? You're just infallible. Am I untouchable? The Health Ranger is beyond ranging. Well, guess what? I'm health ranging you, Health Ranger. So, not long after that, but I'm just touching on points here. I could not possibly go over all these points. In between these clips, I'm bringing out, I'm thinking of more points. I'm like, oh man, I'd hate for you to go to court. I'd hate for this to go to court because it'd get thrown out. I think that's a big reason why you removed a lot of these studies off your website and refuse to put up any actual figures anymore. You just put these scary bars, blue bars. A quick resolution was reached not long after that would require companies to meet, but I'm reading here, would meet strict heavy metal limits by a certain date. Natural News will be the fact checker. Health Ranger is the fact checker. Who's checking your facts? Who's checking your fact? Yeah. And whether these companies meet these limits. So he's got these special limits. He's going to check on these companies to see if these limits, mate. Have you ever checked the products on your own website? I had a look on your website, and it was damning what I found. And you know what? I didn't have to look very far. But he goes on to say, you know what? If first of all, so agreement has been signed, I want to know what's been signed. What could possibly these companies sign that they're going to agree to? That's like going to, any health company, or going to even a health food store, or going to some other supplier like your local fruit and veggie store, your local organic store, and saying, sign this agreement here that there'll be no heavy metals above my limit. And